What is going on, guys? In this video today, we're going to be taking a look at the sensitivity settings of 10 top console Fortnite players. I did a really similar video to this last week with custom controller binds, and you guys seemed to really like it, so I thought why not do a sensitivity one as well. The only difference is that this time around, we're only going to be looking at console players. For custom binds, there's really no difference at all between controller on PC and controller on console, but that definitely isn't the case with sensitivity. I made sure to get a nice mix of linear and exponential players in here, and everybody you see featured in this video has had multiple high placement in console competitive events, so they're all incredible players. I'll put timestamps in the description below if you want to skip to a specific player, and without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so the first person that we're going to be taking a look at in this video is Tuexy, who's a linear player. So starting off with the first section, he uses a 40% look horizontal speed, a 39% look vertical speed, and he doesn't use any kind of turning boosts. You'll also notice that he uses a 2.7x multiplier for both his building and editing sensitivity. Then in the ADS category, he uses 8% for both horizontal and vertical ADS speed, and much like in the non-ADS category, he also uses no boosts here. Then in the advanced category, he uses a 0.00 second look dampening time, and for his dead zones, he uses 9% for both the left and right thumbstick. So I think those settings as a whole are actually fairly normal except for the building and editing multiplier. 2.7 isn't like insane or anything since his horizontal speeds are pretty much average, but 2.7 is still probably a little higher than I'd personally use. The next player on our list is Astonish, who's our first exponential player. So he uses 45% for look vertical speed and 44% for look horizontal speed, and he also uses 0% for all the boosts in this section as well. For build mode sensitivity multiplier, he uses 2.2x, and for editing, he uses 1.6x. Now moving into the aim down sight section, he uses 8% for both horizontal and vertical ADS speed, and again, same deal as the non-ADS section, no boosts here either. For look dampening time, he uses 0.00 seconds, and for controller dead zone, he's rocking a 14% for his left stick and 13% for his right stick. Moving on to our next player, we have Apostle, who's on linear. So starting with his non-ADS sensitivity, he uses 50% look horizontal speed, 42% look vertical speed, and no boosts at all in that section either. Then he uses a 2.5 building sensitivity multiplier and a 1.8 editing sensitivity multiplier. In his ADS sensitivity category, he's using 9% for both his horizontal and vertical ADS speed, and again, no boosts in this section either. He's yet another player that uses the 0.00 second look dampening time, and finally for his dead zones, we have 12% for the move stick dead zone and 6% for the look stick dead zone. So he actually uses really high non-ADS sensitivity values for a linear player with a 0-second look dampening time, and because of that combined with the 2.5 build multiplier, his building sensitivity is pretty significantly higher than what most people use. Player number 4 on our list is vBlazified, who's another linear player. So starting in the non-ADS sensitivity section, he uses 39% for both horizontal and vertical with no boosts at all. Then he uses a 2.3 building sensitivity multiplier and a 2.2 editing sensitivity multiplier. Then in the ADS sensitivity section, he uses 9% for both horizontal and vertical ADS speed with no boost, just like in the non-ADS section. He's another player who uses the same 0.00 second look dampening time, and finally he uses a 10% left dead zone and 9% right dead zone. I'm gonna be honest, these values are almost exactly what I use during the times that I play on console. I really like all his ADS and non-ADS values. The only slight tweak that I would make if it was me would be lowering the building and editing multiplier a bit, but I'm sure it works really well for him. Next up, we have Byzic, who's another exponential player. For his non-ADS sensitivities, he uses 50% for look horizontal and look vertical, and don't be fooled here, even though he does use a 0.2 turning boost ramp time, that actually doesn't matter because he uses 0% for both boosts. For his building and editing sensitivity multiplier, he uses the same 1.5x value for both of those. Then in the ADS sensitivity section, he uses 11% for horizontal and 16% for vertical. And again, same deal here, even though the ramp time isn't 0, he still uses no boost. Then in the advanced sensitivity section, we finally have a player using a non-zero look dampening time. As you can see, Byzic uses the default 0.2. And then for his controller dead zones, he uses 10% for both of his thumbsticks. So as a whole, nothing too crazy here, but the things that stand out a bit to me is the 0.2 second look dampening time, and also the 1.5x multipliers for building and editing sense may be the lowest you see in the entire video. Moving on to Vadizy, who's a linear player, so he uses 41% for both horizontal and vertical speed in the non-ADS sensitivity section with no boosts at all. Then for his building and editing multiplier, he uses 2.5x for both. In the ADS section, he uses 9% for his horizontal and vertical ADS speed, again with no boost, not a surprise. Speaking of not a surprise, he also uses a 0.00 second look dampening time. And for his dead zones, he uses 9% on the left stick and 5% on the right stick, which I believe is the minimum. So these settings are actually almost identical to vBlazified's from earlier, and since I said I like those so much, I also obviously really like these. Player number 7 on our list is Merkin Cartoon, and he's an exponential player. So in the non-ADS section, he uses 53% for look horizontal speed and 65% for look vertical speed with no boost. He also uses a 1.8x building and editing sensitivity multiplier, and in the ADS section, we have 21% for ADS horizontal and 26% for ADS vertical. And then for look dampening time, he uses the same 0.2 second look dampening time as Byzic. Finally, in the dead zone section, he uses 15% for both. So these are probably the most unorthodox sensitivity values that we've seen so far. 53-65% in the non-ADS section is significantly higher than we've seen with any of the other players, and 21-26% in the ADS section is double to triple what most people actually use. But due to the fact that Cartoon is on Expo with that 0.2 second look dampening time, it does make a lot more sense than if a linear player were to use these same values. The 8th player here is JayZ Cracked, who finished top 10 in the console FNCS, and he's a linear player. He uses 43% for look horizontal, 40% for look vertical, and no boosts at all. Then for build and edit mode multiplier, he uses 2.1x for both. For ADS sensitivity, he uses 11% for both horizontal and vertical, and surprise surprise, no boosts here either. However, one interesting thing is that unlike almost all the other linear players on this list, he also uses a 0.2 second look dampening time. And for dead zones, he's going with the absolute minimum 5% for both sticks. The second to last player on our list is Lupien, and he's an exponential player. So he uses 41% for both look horizontal and look vertical speed with no boosts, and he uses a 2.5x build sensitivity multiplier and a 2.6x editing sensitivity multiplier. For his ADS speeds, he uses the same 11% value for both horizontal and vertical with no boosts at all. Then in the advanced section, he uses a 0.00 second look dampening time, and for his dead zones, he uses 6% for both of his thumbsticks. Our 10th and final top console player in this video is Nutify, who's a linear player. In the non-ADS sensitivity section, he's rocking 42% for both horizontal and vertical speed with no boost, and for building and editing sensitivity multiplier, he's using 2.7x and 2.3x. For ADS sensitivity, he uses 11% for both horizontal and vertical, again with no boost, and yet another 0-second look dampening time. Finally, for his dead zones, he's rocking 9% for the left stick and 12% for the right stick. So there you go. I actually think there was a lot less variation with sensitivity than there was with the custom binds. The notable takeaways in my opinion are that first off, none of the 10 players used any boosts in either the non-ADS or ADS section. Most people don't use boosts, so that isn't super surprising to me, but I definitely didn't expect 0 out of 10. Second, the vast majority of players used a 0-second look dampening time, and the 2 to 3 players who didn't use 0.2 seconds. And although there was a decent amount of variation in the non-ADS values of these players, most were in the high 30s to mid 40s. The ADS values, on the other hand, were pretty much always in the 8 to 12% range. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you watched the entire thing, be sure to let me know with a comment down in the comment section below. Did any of the sensitivity values in this video surprise you at all, and if so, which ones? Be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, do whatever the heck you want, and I will catch you guys next time.